Well, I'm really delighted to be out at one of my favorite gardens with one of my favorite gardeners, and I'm here with Burl from Rare Plant Research. And Burl, you've consistently done wonderful things with bringing in plants that we can kind of push the envelope with and see how they survive. And this was a hard winter for you.
It was.
So it was for all of us,
Yes.
wasn't it? So we wanted to come out and talk about some plants that show damage, that were damaged, and tell us about them. And let's start with olives, because you have an awful lot of them here.
Yes, this is a Sevillano olive tree, and typically with olives, below zero, and it will maybe kill them back to the ground, but they'll come back from the roots. But you really don't want that. I mean, I don't recommend planting these where it gets to zero. Although we had 9 degrees this last winter. With olives, typically, if you look at some of these leaves, there's really no damage on them, but there's a few others, like from this branch. You can see there's some leaves that are discolored, and these leaves will eventually exfoliate, and you'll have just a stem, and we call that tip dieback.
Okay.
And that occurs even in California, and when we get a hard freeze. And so it's pretty normal that olives will get tip dieback, but the rest of the tree generally is fine.
So right now, if people want to jump on it and get out cleaning up their yard, don't be cutting stuff yet.
No, you wouldn't want
to
to cut it back yet. In fact, with tip dieback, I usually wait until late spring to cut, after new growth started to come out.
And then right behind you, Burl, there is a plant that I know a lot of people would look at in their garden and say, oh yeah, this is gone, this is dead. It's not though, is it?
Yes, this is a dwarf agapanthus, variegated agapanthus, and most of the energy is stored in the succulent roots.
Yeah.
And so as long as that tip of the plant, I should say the apical meristem, or the growing point, is below ground, but more where it's freezing, it will be fine. So the foliage freezes off, and it just comes right back from in the spring.
And so you could certainly just clean up that mess.
Yeah,
if you
I would
wanted
clean
to.
that up. I just haven't done it yet.
Now this one looks like a plant divided. It looks very healthy down low, and yet some damage on top.
Yes, this is Yucca linearifolia, and I'm actually really surprised that there's damage here. These are actually hardy in Denver.
Oh wow.
But I dug this out of the garden last April and moved it here, and so it was pretty stressed because they're pretty much bare rooted.
Sure.
And what's interesting to me is these pups down here hardly have any damage, where the mother plant is really severely damaged. I'm not convinced that this is dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that even though the tip is damaged, they can branch out there.
From down there.
From down there.
So you might clean up.
Yeah, I'll
but you're
clean
gonna
this
wait
stuff up, but I'll wait on
and
this.
see what happens. You also have some great palms over there. Tell me about some of those and the damage you're seeing.
Yes, now these two are Trachycarpus wagnerianus, and these I planted also in April last year, and there's actually more damage than I expected.
Wow.
Now we also have wagnerianus in another part of the garden that's been in the ground for 12 years. No damage at all, and I really believe that part of the reason there's damage is because the plant really wasn't well established yet.
Right,
We had that real cold.
And that would make sense if you put in something young, much like with us. When we're young, we're more susceptible to diseases. As we get older, we get stronger, so that would make sense.
Except when you get as old as me, then it starts to go the other
We're
way.
both in that same boat. I look down here and it makes me want to cry a little bit. Tell me
Yes.
what's going on here.
This is Agave ovatifolia, and probably in Portland would have been hardy, but here they clearly didn't make it. What's interesting though, with the temperatures that we had a 1-2 punch in January, and the first temperatures we got was around 11 here.
Wow.
And it damaged a lot of the lower leaves, but the main part of the plant was fine. And I thought, oh, well, there's some damage, but these are going to be fine. Well, a week later, we got hit with 9 degrees, and that second punch just wiped it out.
And so when this stuff, I mean, this should be rigid, but it's really, it's really mushy.
That is like gone, you know.
And there it goes. So you're the ones that you know, because of the way you know how they grow,
this is going to go out.
But you're going to keep these for a little bit
I'm going
longer.
to keep those over there just to see it. They may make it.
And then right over here, there's a really cool plant that has some great showing on it. Let's go over there and check out that one. Okay, Burl, before we jump into the shrub we were talking about, I think this is a classic example for home gardeners, this plant right here, about you don't know and it might still be okay. Tell me about it.
This is the horned poppy, and actually even in a mild winter it will look like this. So the old growth all dies off, we get just a little bit of warmth, new growth starts coming on. That will completely fill up that whole area there by late spring.
And now Go ahead.
And so you don't want to cut that back too
Okay,
soon.
yeah, you want to let it go. Now this one, I can see what I consider damage on this too, but
Yeah.
then some that isn't at all.
This is Grevillea McQuilliana, and look at this. I mean, this is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
This, going to be some damage. This, you can see actually there's a few leaves even falling off. And this I will trim back anyway because it's getting a little bit big for this area. But I'll wait till I see some new growth. And
Yeah,
then-
because even here, I mean, you can see where leaves have fallen off,
Yeah.
but they're still, it's still alive.
It's still alive, and it's really not damaged very much. I mean, there's a little bit of damage on the leaves, but I think it's going to be perfect.
And this, I'm not going to get close to this one, you understand, but this beauty here.
Yes, this is Yucca Faxoniana, and it's one of the largest yuccas that are hardy here. You can see there's just a little bit of damage in a couple of places here, but other than that, it's going to be fine. And so I'm very pleased. This actually I transplanted in March here, and bare rooted it,
Wow.
and it's doing great.
And you've got, you are open on the weekends, so people can come out and not only look at plants, but they can also have some wine from your wine
That's
cellar.
true. Our winery's open from 1 to 4. Now, the nursery's not open. That won't be open until May. But the winery's open from 1 to 4. People come out and taste wine and look at some dead plants and look at some live ones, too.
That's right, because you have plenty of both. And they can also spend some time and really get some great information on maybe some of the stuff they have in their own garden that they've even gotten from you.
That's certainly possible.
Well,
Yeah.
for more information on this amazing garden and the great wine as well, go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website. Come out and enjoy the beauty of the cycle of life in a garden. Thank you so much,
You bet.
Burl.
Good
Appreciate
seeing
it.
you. Bye-bye.